everyone, after days of doing permutations, you're not going to believe what I got. Take a look. A shiny Alpha Mime Jr. Only there's one little problem with this, and I'll show you in just a moment. Let me just get the rest of the guys out of the way. Oh, this might be a problem, because if I aggro the other two, then they'll actually scare off that one. No problem, I can just catch the rest. So, there's only one problem with this shiny Alpha Mime Jr. It's female. I said that I am going specifically for a male because I am going for a Mr. Rime. Now here's the question. Do I end the hunt here? Just take this and move on with my life? Or do I continue? Do I continue to hunt for a second shiny Alpha Mime Jr.? Preferably one that is male. Move on with your life? Like, damn, I don't know. Oh, by the way, so let me show you guys. So, here you go. Here's the shiny Alpha Mime Jr. So, these are the permutations that I did. It did take quite a while, because it's not guaranteed I will successfully do each one. You'll notice some of them I did not do, and I've just come to notice that trying to get rid of 4 at the same time, it just doesn't work. Even if I successfully get 4 to flee all at the same time and I fly away, it just doesn't work. So I started skipping any that need me to get rid of 4 at the same time. So this is like the first page, and then here's page number 2. So you can see I didn't do too many permutations. It actually was, I believe, this one right here, permutation 29, I believe, that I actually got this shiny Alpha. However, I don't think I even did it correctly. Because you could see at the very end of this, I'm supposed to catch 3. And I'm pretty sure I did not catch 3. I guess we could take a look, because it says here, catch 2, get rid of 2, get rid of 2, and then catch 3. So I should have 5. Let me actually see. Also, here's day 19 of Eternatus. Maybe I did it right, I don't know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I have 4. I have 4. I don't have 5, I have 4. And I think that was the one. I kind of don't even remember, despite it happening earlier today. I think it was permutation 29, and whatever happened, it did not happen properly. So the moment that shiny Alpha showed up, I saved the game, because I knew I would never get it back. I don't know what went wrong. I just knew if I were to restart so I can save the path, I know which path it is, so I can do it here and show you guys. Oh, you can't even see the full odds, baby. Yeah, I knew if I did not save, then I would just never get it back. So that's why I saved the game, thus meaning any permutations after this, I cannot ever do. Maybe there's a male shiny Alpha hidden somewhere here, but I'll never know. In fact, let me show you the clip. I'll be honest, I was actually looking away when it showed up, but luckily I had the sound on, and the clips on the Switch are extremely loud. You can see it wasn't in the initial spawn, so I'm glad I actually caught some. You can tell I'm a little bit in shock before I save the game. So if I decide to move on with my life, then we did it, folks. I don't know, though, because I wanted a male, because it's literally in the name, Mr. Rime. To say I have a female Mr. Rime, well, it just doesn't feel as, it doesn't match as well. And also, think about it this way. It's, well, the shiny, the regular Pokemon's kind of blue, and then the shiny is kind of gray tone and desaturated, but there's still hints of blue in it. Oh, if only you were Japanese. So, the Pokemon is blue-ish. The Strange Ball is green. It's like greenish blue, more to the green side. And then, so all that green and blue with the blue male symbol next to it, it would just match. It would just match. But then, in this case, there's a red female symbol, and it's like, I don't know how to feel. Yes, I'm happy that I actually got this. But, like, what do you guys think? Tell me. Do you think I should move on? Or do you think I should continue the hunt? I did say that I am specifically going for male, and that if I got a female, well, the hunt continues. I did say that. But that was before I realized just how difficult it was to permutation hunt this thing. I mean, if I get it again, I could permutation hunt it again. Let's see. While we decide, let's see if there's anything else shiny here. So, what do you think? Should I just move on with my life? I'll be honest, there's not a whole lot for me to move on to. I'm done the Alpha Dex now. There's really not much for me to do now. So it's like, well, why not continue, right? What else am I going to do? The only other thing I have planned to do is to get an Alpha Rowlet, or Dartrix, with the Adamant Nature, and that's really it. Not even shiny. Because if I'm going to go for an Alpha regular Decidueye, not Hisuian, I may as well hunt for the best nature for it, according to Google's first page. So that's my plan after this. That actually was my plan before this, but then I decided to really lock in for this hunt. So that's really the next thing I would do, is just hunt for an Alpha with a specific nature. Sure, that will take me some time as well, but like then, I don't have much else to do. Well, I could finally complete the shiny hunts I have planned to do in Legend ZA. I kind of have been sleeping on that game for quite a while. You know, the Alpha hunts in this game kind of took up my life the past couple months. So, tell me, do I move on, or do I continue? But I think we all know, even I know, I'm just gonna continue. I think we all know that. Oof, when have I ever been satisfied until I get exactly what I want, shiny Pokemon-wise? And besides, if this hunt continues, I'll get the opportunity to talk about more shows and movies. And don't we all just want that? Because Dead City has already premiered. I have episode 1 ready to go over today. And also, last time when I talked about all the things that was announced during Comic-Con, there was actually one trailer I forgot to talk about. And it wasn't even a part of Comic-Con. It came up before. That being the Lanterns trailer. So I completely forgot to talk about that trailer. I already completely went through this Mime Jr. outbreak. There is no Alpha secondary horde or shiny. So I think, because I love pain, I think I'm gonna actually continue this hunt. Oh, the storm ended. I'm gonna continue this hunt until I actually give up and I'll just settle for this one. The one I actually caught. Okay, first let me just... I'm actually gonna save one, just to evolve it into a Galarian Mr. Mime. But yeah, I'm just gonna save one. One alpha, I should say. So in a way, we completed the hunt, but am I satisfied? And of course this was gonna happen, right? We just knew this was gonna happen. The moment I put out there into the universe, I am hunting for specifically a male one, of course I get a female one. Of course. So, I guess the hunt continues! At least we can go back to the old method of hunting for a bit, until I get another one with a shiny... What? I wish. With an alpha horde, a secondary alpha horde, and then I go back to doing permutations again. Oh, by the way, I realized that this entire time I did part of this hunt wrong. Because whenever there's this here at the Coronet Highlands, I should go in. Because I completely forgot Mime Jr. can also spawn here. So every time that I completely skipped out on doing these, I could have had a chance. Oops. Did I even update the title of this? No, I didn't. Whoops. It still says Mario Galaxy. Let me just fix that real quick. Okay. Anyway, so there is no Mime Jr. here. There's not even a Rowlet. Like, can you guys believe it? We got a shiny Alpha Mime Jr., but it's female. It's like, It's just I just have to have something specific in mind. You guys should be thankful that I don't care about natures, because imagine me shiny hunting for a specific nature. Because knowing me, I will, or I would. I would continue the hunt until I get that nature I want. I really would. Today, I also took the time to organize my Pokemon home. It only took like, I don't know, 20 minutes. It actually didn't, it wasn't that hard. It was just a lot of things to move around. So, how have y'all been? It only took a couple days to do the permutation hunts. And it was not fun. You may have also noticed that in the permutation hunts I checked off, I didn't do them in the order, like the proper order. That's because, well, it's not guaranteed that what you're going for will work out, will succeed. And if the next one plays out, then may as well just do the next one, right? That's why I think permutation 30 was checked off, despite 29, I believe, was the one that gave me the shiny. before anyone tells me, why not do both? Why not get a male and a female? Well, the thing is, like, I don't know if I want to evolve this one and do the whole process. Because if I do, then there's no undoing it. There's no undoing it. I cannot ever go back on it. So, in this case, why don't I leave there being a shiny alpha in this game, and then hunt for another to put into Legend ZA? Right? Because otherwise I would have sent 2 shiny alphas away, and it's like, well, that was pointless. Like, why didn't I just leave one in the game, right? Of course, everything I'm saying could be null and void if I simply just accept that this is the end and just move on with my life. I mean, it took an average of, what, 20 of these before we got a shiny alpha? So we should get it around number 40. I think No Shame in Feeding saw the shiny alpha, and then he just dipped. Like, oh, you texted me earlier like I should really tune in to see what I got on stream. Oh, that's it? Cool. Anyway, see ya. I saw all I needed. God damn it. You just have to tease me by being alpha, huh? I'm also gonna just turn it back to morning. Wait! That's right. What did I just say? Check that one. Nope. Man, I can't believe the permutation actually worked. Like, it didn't work for the Shiny Alpha Spiritomb, but it did work for this. And, you know, thankfully, it wasn't, like, the last permutation. It didn't take too long, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to go down too far into the list to get one. You know, every now and then, for the permutation hunt, when I screwed up somewhere, like the numbers just didn't match, I would still try it anyways, like maybe messing up somewhere got it to work. And that's exactly what happened. Messing up somewhere did get it to work. I don't know what happened. Like, the numbers weren't what they were supposed to be, but something lined up properly. Like, if I could do it once, I can do it again. So if I simply just find another Mime Jr. outbreak with the secondary Alpha Horde, I could just do it again, right? So anyways, the big news that came out today, Wonder Man has been cancelled over at Disney. Like, oh right, I'm so used to coming over here. No, you're supposed to go and look normally now. Wonder Man has been cancelled. Well, season 2 has been cancelled. Like, what the fuck? Disney? Why? That was a good show. That was actually one of your better shows. It's like, what the hell, man? You didn't give us a season 2 of Hawkeye. You didn't give us a season 2 of Moon Knight. And you got us so excited for a Wonder Man season 2, of all things, only to rip it away from us. You teased us with it, you literally hand gave it to us, and then you took it back like, nope, psych. And then you even flipped us off while you took it back. Like, what the hell, Disney? I still can't believe that Wonder Man was not only A, good enough to get renewed for season 2, and B, had season 2 canceled. Oh, the bots are coming in quick tonight. Wonder Man has been cancelled. Why? I liked that show. I heard this theory online as to why. Maybe it's because Destin Daniel Cretton is going to be busy with the Spider-Man franchise. So Spider-Man Brand New Day is reported to be very successful, so they probably want to sign him on for the next trilogy. So if Destin is too busy with the Spider-Man trilogy, then he just won't be working on Wonder Man, of which he had, a part in developing. Like, if that's the case, then that royally sucks. Because, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you think about it, we get plenty of Spider-Man projects. We get enough Spider-Man projects. When are we ever gonna get another Wonder Man project? You know what I'm saying? Like, we get so much Spider-Man. We have plenty of Spider-Man. Yes, we all love Spider-Man, but, like, when are we ever gonna get another Wonder Man project, Yeah, that's what I thought. And I highly doubt Wonder Man is gonna show up in Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars to fight off Doctor Doom. But yeah, sadly, Wonder Man has been cancelled. No season 2. You suck, Disney. I guess you and Sony aren't so different after all. Instead of giving us things that we'll like, you just keep on making announcements of things that we will not like. You keep on making announcements of things you are taking away from us. Things that we wanted, things that we liked. So aside from Wonder Man being cancelled, I did also think about this. Now that some time has passed since I finished The Amazing Digital Circus, I did think about this. It's like, damn, now I feel bad for being suspicious of Kane. Now I feel bad for ever thinking that he was a threat. Because now that I've seen the whole series, I come to realize that Kane really was just trying to do his best. He was an AI program who built a digital circus, and people's copied brain scans ended up here. So he tried his best to come up with adventures to satisfy them, knowing that they'll never like or be satisfied with the answer of they're stuck in here. There really is no way out. Like we even see in later episodes, Kane expresses that he really does try his best to please everyone. And he is very deeply hurt when people did not like his adventures. The one where he kind of gave them false hope about CNA. So it's like, damn, now I feel bad about being suspicious of Kane. And you know, they honestly could do a season 2. Like, they honestly could. Now that the mystery is out of the way, just focus on the characters living their lives in the digital circus. Now that they know, they can easily just go on more adventures just scot-free, right? But sadly, Glitch and Gooseworks has confirmed there will be no Season 2. Well, it is what it is. So, should I check out Murder Drones or whatever other shows they have? Damn, y'all, this game is teasing me with a lot more alphas now. Fine, if you've spotted me, let me go over and check if that Infernape is shining. Okay, so, let's go over the Lanterns trailer. I'm a little bit more excited about the show. I'm still not that excited overall. I'll still watch it, of course. I think the biggest complaint about the show I've seen so far is how hideous the Green Lantern suit looks. Like, why is it barely green? Why is there so much more brown color to the point it looks almost yellow? It almost looks like a yellow Lantern suit. And yeah, to me, it's like, it does look pretty bad. Now, we've mostly just seen it in stills and the trailer. Maybe it'll look better in the actual show if and when it glows. Whoops, hold on. So the suit kind of sucks. I'm actually going to check this, by the way, since I'm already here. So the suit kind of sucks, but fingers crossed that it'll look better in actual movement. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've said this from the start. I'm not a huge fan that they have decided to go the direction that Hal Jordan is much older, on his way out, and Jon Stewart is replacing him. Look, I love Hal Jordan, and I love Hal Stewart. What? Hal Stewart? I love Hal Jordan, and I love Jon Stewart. I love them both. But me, personally, I prefer Hal Jordan as Green Lantern over Jon Stewart. That's just me, personally. Wow, I'm glad I checked. Because there is an alpha right there. Now, hold on. Hold on. Well, actually, what I can do is... No, wait. Not yet. Because something else I'm trying to do, just for fun, is I'm seeing just how many alphas it's going to take before I get the nature I want. So I'm just keeping all the alphas I catch, just as a counter. Also, you haven't watched Young Justice DCAU then. But yeah, like me personally, I just prefer Hal Jordan. Relax, so it's not the nature I want. Did I say Young Justice? What did I say? I did say Young Justice. You said Justice League. Oops. Anyway, so, yeah. I prefer Hal Jordan, but I do also love Jon Stewart. I'm not the biggest fan that they've made the decision that Hal Jordan is old, he's washed, he's on his way out, and Hal Jordan... I keep getting their names mixed up. And Jon Stewart is his replacement borderline. All that tells me is we're not really going to see Hal Jordan in the future. We're primarily going to see Jon Stewart in the future. You know, I don't have a problem with that. I don't hate Jon Stewart, but you're sidelining Hal Jordan. You know, the last time we had a live action Hal Jordan was Ryan Reynolds 15 years ago. And given how ugly the suit looks in this trailer, I've seen people online actually flipping on the movie. Like, I think we owe Ryan Reynolds an apology. And not only Green Lantern in that film, but also Sinestro. Because, surprise, Sinestro showed up at the end of this trailer. And he does not look that good. Like, that mustache, no. It just does not work. They're setting up Emerald Twilight for Hal. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about Green Lanterns. Like, the Green Lantern storylines, I don't know too much about them. So forgive me if I'm not that knowledgeable on storylines. Anyways. So, let me think. Yeah, Sinestro does not look that good. I don't know, maybe it's because I just re-experienced the Injustice games. Like, I just looked up all cutscenes for Injustice 1 and 2. Just because it's been so long. So I refreshed my memory on the games. Maybe it's because I just watched Hal Jordan be Yellow Lantern in the first Injustice game. I really hope that's not the direction they're going. That Sinestro convinces him to betray the Green Lantern Corps and embrace Yellow instead. I really hope that's not the case. So they're gonna turn Hal Jordan into a villain because he embraces Yellow. I hope that's not the case. Okay, let me just go away for a second. Go away so that I can be not spotted, so I can save the game. And now I can check if there is a secondary horde. And if not, I can just reset the game and get my balls back. Ugh. You know, I also had a thought recently. When are they going to be ballsy enough and give us a regional variant of Charizard? But they'll never do that, he's a starter! We got the Hisuian starters in this game, didn't we? Like, when are we gonna get regional variants of the Kanto starters? Anyway, so, looking at the trailer, not gonna lie, Hal Jordan and Sinestro didn't look that bad in retrospect in that Green Lanterns movie. Especially Sinestro. Sure, the suits were all CGI, but, that being their major flaw, they actually, design-wise, didn't look that bad. Okay, so the trailer actually teases the idea of the Manhunters appearing on Earth. From my understanding, it's sort of like an Age of Ultron mixed with Secret Invasion kind of storyline. Not the Martian Manhunter, no, the Manhunters. If I have my knowledge correct, they were created by the Guardians. But then they were like shape-shifting androids created by the Guardians to maintain peace and order, but then they realized, oh, free will leads to chaos, so we need to eradicate all intelligent life. So yeah, shape-shifting Ultrons, pretty much. Oh, it's gone. So that's why the show is kind of like a small-town buddy cop murder mystery. So if I have my knowledge on the Manhunters correct, this could completely give the biggest middle finger to Marvel's Secret Invasion, because that show was trash. You know, speaking of Marvel, I also saw people point out where the fuck is Rhodey? He was done dirty post-Endgame. We saw him in Falcon and Winter Soldier. We saw him in... Didn't he appear in something else? Crap, I don't remember. But he was prominently in Secret Invasion, or at least his replacement was. And we haven't even seen him suit up as War Machine once after Endgame. So people were questioning, where the hell is Rhodey? You know? I don't know, maybe it's just me. I think it kind of makes sense that he wouldn't suit up. Maybe not, not appearing, but I think it kind of makes sense that he doesn't suit up, because Tony Stark is dead. Who is going to make the suits for him? The government couldn't even replicate Tony Stark's Iron Man suits. So the government clearly aren't going to be able to give Rhodey new War Machine suits, and he clearly won't be able to build them himself. Who's he gonna get? Riri Williams to build one for him? Yeah, so in my eyes, it kind of makes sense he doesn't suit up. Because if he does suit up in the Iron Patriot Mark II that we saw, these suits have wear and tear, right? So he suits up, he uses it, it gets damaged, well, that's it. There is no other suit for him to use. I'm sure he has a good number of War Machine suits and Iron Patriot suits, but, same thing. Who's gonna fix them? Who's gonna build him more? But, if there was ever a time to actually put the suits on, it would be now, against Doom. You know what's another funny thing I saw online? The fact that Kevin Feige was hard coping, hard deflecting, saying, the build-up we had for Thanos, yeah, you guys are just really propping it up, because there really wasn't that much of build-up for him. He put on his glove, he appeared sitting in a chair, he turned around and faced the camera, and that's really about it. It's like, what are you talking about, man? Kevin Feige trying to gaslight us that there is this misconception. There wasn't, in reality, a lot of build-up to Thanos. In fact, he had little to no build-up as well, same as Doctor Doom. It's like, what is you talking about? He appeared as the post-credit scene for the first Avengers. He appeared as the post-credit scene for the second Avengers. He literally showed up in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. We don't need a big-ass setup, like a whole scene of him torching a planet, but him just constantly being in the background. It's like, yeah, that's what you call setup. Doctor Doom had zero setup. The only setup he had was Fantastic Four's post-credit scene for 30 seconds. If even. And, I've also seen this be tossed around. The fact that people consider Doom to be Marvel's greatest villain. I don't know if I would go that far. I don't know if I would consider Doctor Doom Marvel's greatest villain. Number one greatest villain. He's up there. He's up there along with Thanos, Ultron, Galactus. He's up there. But I don't know if I would put him as number one. But people are saying that Doctor Doom is Marvel's number one villain, and he is relegated to just these Avengers films. No years of build-up, no character development, nothing. It's like, yeah, that is a bit of a shame. That really is. And if you really think about it, I highly, highly doubt after Secret Wars, we're going to get a brand new Doctor Doom, who we're going to meet, and gonna be set up as a villain again. I very much doubt that. Because if that's the case, why the fuck would you even bring back Robert Downey Jr. to play him? Right? Like, if we're gonna get new actors playing old characters after the reboot, well, kind of would feel like a waste of time in that case. All these two movies with Doom. Like, when have they ever done that? When have they ever done a villain and then set up the villain again to be the big bad again, right? And don't even try to bring up the Spider-Man No Way Home villains, because that was never planned, right? I'm saying we never got Loki or Ultron or Thanos. You know, they had their spotlight being the villains. And then they were the villains again. Sure, the characters returned, but they weren't the main villain again. Oh, I also saw this. So, people saying the scaling for each Avengers threat and why Doom might be the biggest threat of all. So, Loki, what was at stake? A city. New York City. Ultron, what was at stake? The planet. Thanos, what was at stake? The universe. Doom, what's at stake? The multiverse. Like, the stakes just keep on growing and growing. Like, what's next? The Omniverse? A multiverse of multiverse? Which, in a way, Marvel already has, but I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Did I forget to mention anything about the Green Lantern trailer? Nathan Fillion returns as Guy Gardner. How have we had Guy Gardner be a connecting thread and not someone like Superman? And you know, I still haven't watched Supergirl. It is clear online, and not that garbage theater captured footage. I could watch it, but we just have to see when I have time. And you already know I have a stack of other movies I have yet to watch. I want to watch Obsession, alright? That movie came out months ago. I have been seeing non-stop talk about Obsession, and I haven't seen it yet. I want to, I just don't have time. Um... Tell you what, I'll sleep on it, I'll think about it. Do I want to continue this hunt? Or do I just want to evolve the shiny alpha I already got and move on? I'll sleep on it, I'll think about it. Unless we can get another one right now. And then I'll be like, alright, see you next week when I have done the permutations again. Oh yeah, something else to mention tonight. That's a lot of Drifloons. Something else. So, you know the saying, if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. Well, I've already explained why I don't want my dad to wash the dishes. Well, if I don't want him to do it, then I gotta do it. Look, I went to work today. It wasn't busy, but I still had to go. I still had to wake up early and go out, right? I still had to spend 8 hours of my life there. Anyway, so after dinner, I got things I would like to get done, you know? I have things to do. And washing the dishes just takes time, right? I have things in my life to do as well. And, well, Mom's too tired to do it sometimes, so if not me, if not her, nobody will. So my dad will volunteer sometimes to do it, and we don't want him to do it. Sister, she sure as hell won't ever do them, so don't even need to bring her up. So, I've explained this in the past. The reason we don't want my dad to do it is because he wastes a lot of water doing it. You know, I turn off the tap when I'm scrubbing, and then I pile on the cleaned plates and bowls and silverware, utensils just waiting to be rinsed. Nah, what he does, he turns the water on at max, and it runs the entire time. Scrubbing, rinsing, one at a time. He has the water running at max the entire time. And like I said, I turn the water on when I need to, and then I turn it off when I don't need the water. Him? No, the water stays on max the entire time. It's like, Dad, you don't need me to teach you how to do the dishes. Like, come on now. You don't need me to teach you how to turn off the tap while you are washing plates. And I know better at this point, you know? I know better than to tell my family how to do things. I know better than to explain to them why you should do it like this, why you should do it like that. Because they genuinely get angry at me and they yell at me. You want to hear what happened the other day? And I tell you folks, I really hold myself back when it comes to my family. To the point I could honestly cry sometimes. Just because these guys I live with are gonna drive me insane. So, okay, I've explained this in the past as well. You know how every household now has an electric tea kettle? Or an electric boiler? You get instant hot water in like 5 minutes, right? Well, my family has this weird obsession with constantly needing hot water. Despite we having that Chinese tool, that Chinese water container that is always hot water. So we have an electric tea kettle, and we have the kitchen gadget that has hot water in it 24/7. But instead of just getting the water out of that thing, where the water is always hot, no, they boil the water every time. It's like, why? You people have hot water already. Why are you boiling it again? But that's besides the point. So, what my family does is that we boil the water from our taps before we drink it. Now, we can't drink boiling hot water, so we need it to cool down first. We have 3 containers, of which we pour the boiled water into to let it cool. We have 3 containers of cool down, room temperature, boiled water ready to drink at all times. So you would think, alright, if all 3 are full, then you don't need to boil water anymore, right? Not until 1 is empty. Nah, they keep on boiling. Even if all 3 containers are full, and the electric tea kettle is full of water, they'll boil it again. They will boil it during the day. It cools down. They'll just boil it again at night. It's like, why are you boiling all this water? Like, you're wasting electricity. And to them, it's they think, what's the big deal? Like, we're just boiling water. It's like, why? You already boiled it. Why are you boiling it again? You have hot water already. Wait, don't save the game here. So anyways, the thing that happened the other day... Ooh, you see what I mean? Mime, a junior does spawn here as well. And so does Dartrix. Let me check this out first, since it's closer. So anyways, the other day... The other day, my sister woke up from her nap hungry, because she's pregnant now. She is hungry way more often. So, she needs to eat. She really, really, really needs to eat. So the other day, she came down to boil the water from the electric tea kettle. However, I noticed that the 3 containers I mentioned, they weren't filled up. So, because the water was already boiled and cooled down, I stopped the water from being reboiled. I poured it into the containers first, before I added new tap water in to be boiled. And then she genuinely got mad at me. She's like, "Why are you doing this?" I'm just like, well, what difference would it make? The water is not even hot. I pour out the cold water, and then I add new cold water to boil again. It'll be the same time. And she's just like, "I'm hungry now! I need hot water now!" And then she goes for the kitchen tool that already has hot water in it. It's like, well, why the fuck didn't you just use that to begin with? Getting mad at me for just, I don't know, in my eyes, doing something logical. You just refill the containers with the already boiled water that has cooled down before you fill it up with new water from the tap to boil. Like, you wanted hot water, and it would have taken like 5 minutes for the water to reheat anyways. So what's an additional 30 seconds? I refill the containers, and then I add in clean water from the tap to boil. Like, what difference would that have made? You even acknowledged yourself. You needed hot water. There is literally hot water right there. Why did you even reboil it? Now, I didn't yell at her or anything, even though I really want to. Instead, I just walked away. I'm just like, yup, fuck this. You give me that toot of yours again? Anytime you give me that bitch-ass attitude of yours, I'm just leaving. I'm done with you. I'm just leaving. And you know, it's like, I have to really restrain myself. I really have to hold myself back. Because, oh, your sister's pregnant. You don't want to stress her out. You don't want her to be stressed out in this critical moment. I'm very close to just blowing my brains out, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Anyways, you guys don't know how hard I am restraining myself from just yelling back at my sister, just fighting with these guys. And the thing is, I know exactly what'll happen. Even if I get so upset with these guys, and I leave the house, I hop in my car, either my dad will hop into his car and follow me, and then we'll just have a chase around the city, or they'll literally call the cops. Ha! I know how my parents are. They will call the cops like, "My son didn't return last night. We got into an argument. He didn't come back last night, He's gone. We need your help, police. And then there's gonna be like a citywide search for me. Like, I know exactly how it's gonna play out. They genuinely will. Like, even if I just simply sleep in my car at the McDonald's parking lot, they actually will just call the cops. Because, like, I'll be honest with you guys, if I get so mad at these guys, I leave the house, I get in my car and drive away, I'm not answering their phone calls. They're gonna call me, they're gonna try to call me, I'm not gonna answer them. So because they don't know where I am, and because I'm not answering them... For a second I thought that Mr. Mime was green. Like, look, doesn't it look kind of green? Because they won't know where I am, and because I won't answer their phone calls, they're actually just gonna call the cops to try to find me. They genuinely will. So it's like, wow, now I can't even do that, because I'm pretty sure we'll get in trouble. You know, misuse of dialing 911. It's like, you called the cops and wasted police, you know, first responder time over your petty little family feud. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get in trouble somehow. So that's why I hold myself back. I don't fight with these guys. I don't really interact with them, period. And it is driving me insane. I will blow my brains out before I even live to see, you know, really anything meaningful happen in my life. You know, my friends, I complain to my friends all the time about the dumbassery I deal with my family. I deal with from my family. And they're just like, can't you just say no? Whenever they talk some stupid bullshit to you, can't you just say no? It's like, I kind of can't. They're my parents, you know? They're my family. I kind of have to do what they ask. They ask me to grab something for them, I kind of have to. They ask me to do something, I kind of have to. At least maybe that's just the restrictions I was raised to believe. I don't know. It still boils down to my life is an absolute joke. And I keep saying this, my life is only going to get worse. Not better, it'll never get better, it's only going to get worse. Because with my sister's pregnancy, she's only going to become more needy, more of a bitch, more lazy, and so I'll have to fill in. You know, at this moment, she barely has a bump on her stomach. Like, she's not even showing any belly yet. You know, it's like when I have a bigger belly than my sister does. Yeah, huh? And... Uh... Even now, with barely anything showing yet, she's still, you know, she's still lazy to grab things on her own. You know, she eats all the time. She's more picky when it comes to what she eats. And she eats small quantities all the time. So she needs snacks all the time, but when it comes to the meals, like actual big meals, she doesn't eat as much because of all the snacks she ate. That's just a pregnancy thing, I guess. You know, it's like, God forbid the apocalypse ever happens. This is something that The Walking Dead just always glosses over. Whenever a pregnancy happens in the apocalypse, do you know how much food you need to feed the woman? Do you know how many things you need to kind of just tiptoe over? Like, you kind of underestimate how much stamina a pregnant woman has in the apocalypse, where there is very scarce rations. Yeah, it's like, that's just something that The Walking Dead unrealistically glosses over. When it comes to, like, Lori's pregnancy, Maggie's pregnancy, Michonne's pregnancy. Now, granted, Maggie and Michonne, when they were pregnant, they had a strong community and lots of resources, so they were fine. But Lori, her entire pregnancy with Judith, they were on the road. They were actually surviving in the wild. So, for Lori to be able to have enough food the entire 9 months, and for enough food for the entire group to survive, that's really hard to buy. But it's TV, whatever for the cameras, right? Oh yeah, I forgot, I also started today with a nosebleed. How nice. Woke up today, really did not want to get out of bed, but gotta get to work, right? Woke up today, getting ready, blew my nose, and blood came out. Fantastic. I've been getting nosebleeds this past while. It isn't even... Oh, it's nighttime. It isn't even from, like, me picking my nose, it's from me blowing my nose. We did also get a new Jumanji trailer today. It looks nuts. It's like Jumanji open world or whatever, where the game is merging with real life. Any other trailers that came up recently I should cover? Let me think. Any other trailers? Oh yeah, Daryl Dixon Season 4 has been delayed to next year. Well, that's a bit of a shame. But it's fine, I suppose. We're getting Dead City right now. You know, it would have been nice to also be excited for Daryl Dixon later on this year, but oh well. I really do wonder what's next for the Walking Dead franchise. This one has berries, but there's no guarantees that it'll also have a secondary wave. I really do question what's next for not Daryl Dixon, for the Walking Dead franchise. Daryl Dixon is ending with season 4. Dead City hasn't been renewed for a 4th season yet. And these are the only 2 shows left. But with Daryl Dixon ending, Dead City is the only show left. Well, nothing here. Anyway, so let's get into Dead City, shall we? Season 3, Episode 1. Alright, so The Walking Dead, Dead City, Season 3, Episode 1. We begin by seeing someone plant bombs on the methane tanks, while 2 guys working for the Dama hang up wanted posters of both Maggie and Negan. And the dude did a pretty poor job just simply nailing it to like a door. Because the poster flies off. And we see it blow past certain landmarks of New York like the Empire State Building, Times Square, Madison Square Garden. You know, even if it is just brief, like a brief glance, it is cool to see what these iconic landmarks, like what have become of them ever since the apocalypse, right? Ooh, Times Square looks rough. Hard to believe that once upon a time, this location held thousands, tens of thousands, for New Year's countdown. And you know, little side note, wouldn't this be cool to see? Now, this would be an absolute nightmare to shoot, but imagine if, for Dead City, they shot showing the winter. They did 1 episode taking place in the winter back in season 10? Or was it 9? One of the 2. I think it was season 9. But imagine the entirety of a potential season 4 of Dead City taking place in the winter. That would be cool, but I doubt it'll happen. So Maggie is burying Ginny, and Negan is mad at her? He almost blames her for Ginny's death. Maggie is apologetic over stabbing Negan, and even offers him to stab her back, in the back, to be even. He's actually about to. He jokes about that throughout the episode, like he so should have stabbed her. He's about to, but then he's stopped by siblings, Renata and Luis, the new characters. Like, wow. Like, they were... I know the 2 actors were announced for the seasons, but I didn't expect them to show up, like, immediately. So, new additions to the cast. We have Amy Garcia playing Renata, and Raul Castillo playing Luis. And man, I gotta tell you, even nearly 50 years old, Amy Garcia is still fine as hell. Same with Lauren Cohan. Like, even though both of them are getting older, I would still smash. Both of them, I would still hit. Anyway, so they capture them both to use them as leverage. So they walk down the streets of Manhattan. Just as they were about to walk inside somewhere, Herschel calls out to Maggie. And then a big explosion happens. Like, it's just out of nowhere, a big explosion happens. So, no one has a scratch on them, but there's smoke and walkers everywhere. Maggie and Negan slide down into a cellar where they fight off walkers, conveniently slow. Renata and Luis outside run into the Croat, and it's alluded to that they have history. We see that history literally later on. So the two of them, they want a tank. But the explosion just destroyed them. That's what the explosion was. The Croat destroyed them so New Babylon won't get their grubby little hands on them. And you know what? I can't even blame him. Because New Babylon sucks. They cannot be trusted with all that power. And then, oh man, the Croat reveals he's been bit. I'll be honest, it looks more like a claw mark to me than an actual bite mark. It almost looks like the bear from last season actually like slashed him. But whatever. The Croat has been bit. So down in the cellar, Negan pushes a shelf onto walkers. And he has no energy left. Remember, he was stabbed like literally the night before. Like his stab wound hasn't even been stitched up yet. At least I don't think so. Maybe it was. Ooh, 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 ooh. What do we have here? Ooh, we have a potential. Yo, if this has another Alpha Horde afterwards, well, see you guys in another week. Because I will be doing more permutations. So, yeah, Negan is lying on top of the shelf, pinning down walkers, which I personally would not do, because the walkers, you never know, their hands could still pop up and get you somehow. And then a walker slides down, with several weapons and objects sticking out of it. Negan is about to just accept that he's about to die. Negan was about to let this walker kill him because he has no energy left. At least until Herschel kills it. Because conveniently, this walker moves super slow. Aw, couldn't have been that lucky, huh? And also, for some reason, later on in the episode, they just don't even acknowledge this walker. Like, it's kind of hard to see what's exactly sticking out of this thing, but maybe, like, a machete was sticking out, maybe, like, a metal pipe. Anything. They could have used anything from that walker's body, but no, they just don't. So yeah, Negan is saved by Herschel. So outside, despite the Croat being bit, Renata decides to save the Croat. And surprisingly, they aren't surrounded by walkers yet. Renata even pointed out that that explosion would have drawn every walker in the city to their location. And like, they had all that time and they're not surrounded yet? Like, they even fought off a couple walkers initially. And then for, like, mostly the rest of the time, not a single walker showed up. Wow, that was very convenient. So anyway, so the group all together, Renata tells Negan they were just trying to keep a baby alive. Flashback 4 months earlier. Louise and Renata, along with their family, is celebrating their brother having a baby. At least until the Croat comes in and sends a message by killing their uncle and then killing their brother, the unborn baby's father. Also, the uncle was just simply stabbed in the gut and died on the spot. Like, that's it? I don't know, maybe some organ was punctured, but like, that's it? We have seen people in this universe die, or not even die, like people in this universe survive off of much more. Remember when Rick Grimes was literally impaled? He had to use his belt to free himself? And then he got onto that horse and, you know, was able to escape a horde of walkers? People have survived far worse, and yet this guy, he just dies on the spot from being stabbed? Like, I've been saying this about these spin-offs. People just die too easily. People just get injured. Now, I'm not saying a stab wound is a small injury, but people get injured and then they die instantly. Remember in Daryl Dixon when Julian got hit in the face really hard and he died from that? Like, people just die so easily. But whatever. So after killing the two guys, Croat claims his mentor taught him to kill the right person or persons at the right time to make everyone else fall in line. I wonder who his mentor could be. And then Croat does his intimidation move. He even does the eeny, meeny, miny, mo. At least until Renata almost blows herself and Croat up with methane unless he leaves. So, back to present day. The siblings want to leave because their sister-in-law is having a baby. But with walkers swarming outside, they have to stay put for now. Herschel and Maggie have a moment alone. Herschel says Dama wanted him to kill his own mother. And then this made Herschel think the Dama's kind of whack. He doesn't want to be around her crazy anymore. This also makes him think about how he put the idea in Maggie's head to finally kill Negan. Anyway, so Maggie and Herschel are on the same side again, finally. With Croat running out of time, they need to move. So the baby needs an incubator or it won't survive. And a tank will power it. You know, I immediately thought, what about Judith? I know it's different every single time, but what about Judith? Judith was born in a dirty prison boiler room. And she survived. But not every baby survived. Not every baby born in this universe we saw survived. Like with Grace's baby in Fear. Her baby died like on the spot. I guess it really depends on the baby, I suppose. That's why modern medicine exists. So yeah, they need an incubator or the baby won't survive. But the thing is, there's no more tanks. They all blew up. Luckily enough, the Croat says there is one tank left, and he'll take them there. He wants to die next to his legacy. And then he also throws out the idea that Manhattan could be brought back with power. The Croats' work. The Croats' legacy. They need strong fighters to help them through the horde of walkers outside. Like Negan. But he refuses. Instead, Negan goes upstairs to where a bar is. And he meets a man named Dillard. He's a very chill guy. He has walkers glued to the seats with their teeth and nails pulled out, so they're no threat. So Renata teaches Herschel what her dad taught her. Instead of choosing the fight, choose the light. Corny as shit, but anyways, moving on. So Dillard shows Negan how he survived on his own this whole time. So basically, he kept to himself and using the building's rooms to each sustain an ecosystem. And that's actually brilliant. So he shows Negan room by room what he has inside. He has a room where maggots are feeding on walkers. Another room where frogs eat the maggots. The next room, turkeys will eat the frogs. And then we are told, but not shown, the chain goes all the way up to a room of coyotes. Now, I kind of can't blame them for not showing that one. Having a room full of, like, domesticated coyotes probably wasn't easy to do. So anyways, he has a whole, like, ecosystem there. Like, animals eating other animals, and then he'll eat the animals. So Maggie offers Renata and her people to come back with her to the bricks, but she'd rather stay in the city, seeing the Croat's vision to bring the city back. And you know what? I could see the vision too, but that would be very difficult to do. To bring back power and electricity to the entirety of the island of Manhattan, while millions of walkers supposedly still roam the streets. So the Croat doesn't have much time left, so Maggie picks up Lucille and convinces Negan to help, asking for this one last favor. A treadmill walker time. They technically could, you know? It wouldn't be the first time we've seen characters in this universe strap walkers to like these big revolving machines where movement will generate power or whatever. It's not the first time we've seen it. I think Padre did that in Fear. Whatever. Anyway, so with with Negan agreeing to help, they walk down the street, which is not that filled with walkers. Again, where are the millions of walkers that are in Manhattan? Like, the streets were empty in Season 2. Whatever. Negan also, luckily, just happens to know where the tank might be, considering the Croat is dying and he never even told them where it was. Negan just goes, I think I know where it is. So they go to a building with the Croatian flag. Everyone goes in, except for Negan and Croat. Maggie hands Negan a knife, and he stays with Croat until he dies. And, damn, this is sad, because you see Negan is torn about this. Another friend of his dies. Now, you know, calling them friends is a bit of a stretch, but they do have history, right? Croat was there at the start of the Saviors, even if we didn't see it in the original show. So, the Croat is dead. Damn it! I like this character too. He was unhinged, but, you know, so was a lot of likable characters, like Negan. Man, another thing that these spin-offs have issues with, killing off their characters too soon. Now, granted, the Croat did survive all the way up until the premiere of Season 3. But, like, think about all the other characters that have died, right? You have whatever their name was, who died in the sewers in Season 1. You have, the despicable villain in Season 2, who I don't even remember the name of. She died. Her death was very underwhelming. Like, you hated the character so much, you wanted to see a satisfying, excruciating death. No, she just died on the spot. And then what about the other spin-offs, right? Daryl Dixon, they killed off Madame Genet, they killed off Isabel, Sylvie, even though there was no point to killing them off. And what about the ones who lived? They killed off Okafor, they killed off Pearl Thorne, maybe. I don't know, I doubt we'll ever see her character again, so it's pretty safe to say she's dead. They killed off General Beale. Like, all these side characters, they just kill off instantly. Which is why it really concerned me when these new characters were announced to join the cast. I don't want to see Amy Garcia die. I don't want to see the actress be torn apart. I like this actress. She's hot. Despite being nearly 50 years old, she's still hot. So anyways, the Croat is dead. Anyway, so they get the tank off screen. They manage to get the tank off screen, and then they make their way to the hospital just in time for Evie to give birth. That's the name of their sister-in-law, Evie. And to my surprise, this is actually not the first time we've heard the name Evie in the universe. We had Evie played by Olivia Munn in Tales, and then we even saw that Carl had an Aunt Evie in his letter to Rick. All spelled the same way, by the way. None of them spelled like the Pokemon's name. Alright, so the baby is born. Once again, these shows love glossing over just how long child labor goes. So the baby is born, and they have some happy downtime. Maggie wants her people and Renata's people to do business after she gets back to the bricks. But Renata actually offers Maggie and her people to come and live at Manhattan. Maggie doesn't think about it at first, but then she actually considers it. She needs to talk to her son about it first, though. She thinks Herschel actually does like it here in Manhattan. So, Maggie goes off to talk to Negan before he leaves. Negan, he wasn't mad at her for trying to kill him, but rather for not finishing the job. Because we all know that Maggie has wanted to kill Negan for a very long time now. We're actually coming up on a decade. Like, real time, a decade of Maggie's hatred for Negan. That is actually later this year. We are actually closing up on 10 years since Glenn's death. Oh my god, I even remember where I was 10 years ago when it happened. 10 years ago! Whew. Anyways. So she thanks Negan for helping. Maggie smiles, and Negan mentions never seeing her smile before, and it suits her. Well, what's interesting is now they actually act like friends. They act like actual friends as Negan leaves to go back to the bar. It is so strange to see these two acting friendly, smiling. Like when Negan mentions, if you need me, you'll know where to find me, Maggie just goes, that bar? Again? It's like, it's so strange seeing these two acting like friends. Because, oh my goodness. You know, as much as I would actually like to see these two become friends just because they're our main two protagonists of the show, as much as I want to see these two become friends, I have to remember where the two of their stories started together. Negan killed Glenn. Negan killed Maggie's husband. Herschel has no father because of him. That's where their relationship started. And to see them now smiling and be friends, it's so weird. In a way, it's nice, but like, it just feels out of place, especially for these two, knowing where these two started. Now, I hope to God that these two do not become a couple. That would be one of the worst decisions you could possibly make. If you make Maggie and Negan lovers, the internet will riot. People do not want that. Like, that would be a horrible decision. Not only would Maggie be hooking up with the man who killed her husband, but also, it's really easy to forget, Negan has a wife and son. We literally saw them last season. We saw Annie. Well, Negan didn't see Annie per se, but he did hallucinate Annie, and the actress who plays Annie did come back. Like, he hallucinated Annie and Joshua. Negan does have a wife and son out there, which is really easy to forget because they barely ever mention it. So, it would be a horrible idea if Maggie and Negan were to hook up. An absolutely horrible idea. I feel like if they did that, if they actually did that, the amount of backlash and hatred would rival that of Carl's death. I just feel like it would. The level of backlash would rival Carl's death. Maybe. Anyway, so Maggie also tells him that maybe they're gonna stay in Manhattan. Once they find the Dama, they can start changing Manhattan for the better. Speaking of the Dama, so the two guys who hung up the wanted posters are still alive, but injured. It almost looks like they got hit face first, point blank with that explosion. But yet they survived. So anyways, the two guys are limping away. They hide in an alley from walkers. But then the Dama finds them. The Dama finds them rather easily. She just happens to be in the exact same Hollywood. She just happens to be in the exact same alleyway that these guys decided to hide in. I really thought the Dama would just kill the two of them on the spot. Because we've seen the Dama be unhinged before. But no, she says that they'll heal, and then they'll continue their work, which is just beginning. And that's the episode. I gotta say, it was a pretty strong start to the season. I liked it. It is a shame that the Croat's dead. Ooh, look at this. But with the Croat being dead, the main focus will be on the Dama. If anything, the Croat passed the antagonist position, passed the antagonist torch to the Dama with his death. It's like, damn it! I wish they kept the Croat. I liked him. But the Croat doesn't have the same level of backlash as Isabel did. When they killed off Isabel, everyone hated it. Because there really was no reason to kill her off. You killed her off just because Season 3 was going to go to Spain instead of France. And you just wanted Daryl and Carol to have a fresh start. That's it. Like, y'all killed off Isabel for no reason. You can kill off Sylvie. It's very easy to forget she was even there, but like, damn it, Isabel, just when Daryl caught feelings? Y'all just can't ever give my man Daryl a break, can you? I hate the auto aim in this game so much. Oh, I thought I heard an alpha. Never mind. And nothing here. So, what do you guys want to talk about? I hear my parents literally right on the other side of the door talking about whatever. Ooh, 2 Rowlets. I guess I'm double hunting at the moment, so may as well check them out. Let me just go check. Maybe they're talking about something concerning. Nope, they're talking about shoes. I thought they were talking about something with Sky's feet or whatever. The way he walks, never mind. What the hell? Why was there a chain reaction sound effect? There's one I missed somewhere. Is that it over there? No, that's not it. Yeah, there's one somewhere. Man, I hate this game sometimes. Can we get the Alpha Roar chain effect again? Okay, nothing here. Let's check this one out. They have this literal... what? They have this adorable little sound effect when they pop right in. Okay, so nothing. You know, I also tried something different with my hair today. Because I got a haircut yesterday, I wanted to try something something different with my hair. What if I tried completely slicking it back? Kind of like Homelander's hair. If I were to slick it back, then the hair going backwards can cover up the bald spot on the back of my head. You know what? Just because I need to progress, let's see if there's any shinies initially spawning. So I tried slicking my hair back, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I was thinking, since my hair is short now, get my hair to get used to it for when it grows long again. But it doesn't work. You know, the hair on half of my head is used to going back, but not the other half. You know, the half on the side of my head that has significantly less hair. So when my hair, when that one side of my head gets slicked back, it doesn't stay down. It pops up because that side of my head isn't used to having the hair going backwards. So it sticks up, and then it just shows how little hair I have on that spot, and then it just, well, if anything, it just shows, you know, it just exposes all the empty space. Yeah, I'm going bald. Whatever. It is what it is at this point. I think I heard in, like, Turkey, they do great hair transplants. Maybe one day. You know, we have all this medicine, but we don't have anything to fix male pattern baldness. Technology and medicine have only evolved so far, huh? You know, speaking of medicine and whatever, so I turned on a random radio station on the car the other day, and I heard maybe this, like, podcast or whatever talking about, like, Anthony Fauci and how he's a fraud and how he has allegations on him. I'm like, I haven't kept up with Anthony Fauci ever since the COVID days. So I don't know what's going on with him. Like, what kind of allegations are towards him. In fact, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. In the podcast, when the name Fauci was brought up, I'm just like, why does that sound so familiar? You know, I haven't even tested it yet, like putting an alpha side to side. Am I riding on an alpha Basculegion? Like, just the size comparison? I guess I'll go to this one first. It's like the most out of the way out of all of them. And then I could just fly down to go see the others. I still can't believe the permutation hunt actually worked. You know? That's like my second attempt actually trying permutations. The first one being Spiritomb. And it actually worked. Oops, did I go too far? See, that's why I checked. There was something in the initial spawns. And it's a Staravia again! As if I haven't gotten plenty of these already. How many shiny Staravias have I gotten at this point doing this? I'm also trying to find time to record footage for an alpha Pokemon Living Dex video I'm trying to put out there, but like, man, I just don't have time. I don't have time to record that footage. And then I still got to do voiceover and then actually edit the footage. Can I make it there before nighttime and the spawns change? Oh, I just missed it! I just missed it! By the way, I'm not entirely sure why the Mario Galaxy 2 No Comet Medal run is actually very popular. To my surprise, a lot of people are actually watching it. Like, it has way more views than I ever thought it would. Especially for a live stream VOD. Now, the view numbers is nothing to celebrate, but it's still, you know, let's say, hundreds more than I usually get. Very surprised people are actually enjoying it that much. But hey, whatever the people want, right? You know, I was kind of thinking, like, maybe it was because initially people were thinking, uh, you know, what was he saying? Like, wait, what did he just say? Did I hear that right? What did he just say? When I was saying the enemy name Digga, you know, the enemies in the game that are named Diggas, Diggas. That's actually their in-game name. I thought that's why people kept on clicking on, like, what did he say? Well, if anything, glad you guys out there are enjoying it. Okay, so I will also continue this hunt on my own. Maybe I'll get lucky again and find another outbreak that has a secondary alpha horde. We'll see. Because we clearly saw just how rare they are. That's the only one I had this entire time. So I will continue this hunt on my own. At least it gives me something to do, right? Ever since I finished the alpha decks, I've kind of had nothing else to do besides doing the permutation hunts, which I really had to force myself to do. Because I'm not gonna lie, I really did not want to do them. Unless I'm doing it here, they're just not fun to do on your own. So I really did not want to do it, but I really had to force myself to actually do the permutations. Especially given how difficult Mime Jr. is, I really had to bring myself to do them. So yeah, I can now continue this hunt on my own. And, well, if the cycle happens again, it is what it is. I'm almost tempted to do a poll. Like, should I actually continue the hunt or should I move on? But let's face it, like, only one person will vote, if even. Even if I did have 1,000 people vote, I bet majority would vote continue because we love seeing you suffer. I'm already standing right here. I may as well check it out. See, I like Rowlet way more than Dartrix, because Dartrix, you just can't catch them. You actually need to battle them and knock them out one at a time. Remember how I mentioned I did get an alpha Decidueye with the adamant nature? Well, that's exactly what I'm looking for, just the wrong Decidueye form. Even an alpha of this thing I would take. Because, you know, it could still evolve. Oh, you're standing right there. Oh, by the way, today I also received in the mail my Resident Evil Requiem amiibos for both Leon and Ashley. Wait, no, is it Ashley or Grace? No, I think it's Grace. I keep getting her and Ashley mixed up. Yeah, it's Grace. Can you believe we actually have a Leon Kennedy amiibo? Like, we actually do. Sure, the base is blank, but so have the other recent Capcom amiibos. You know, unless you're Monster Hunter, that is. You know, it's kind of amazing to see just how close Capcom and Nintendo are. I also saw this report online on how Nintendo, like, the Switch 2 is becoming mainstream. Well, then maybe that's not the right phrase, but like, given how so many third parties are developing games that will be on the console, kind of like Koei Tecmo, Bandai Namco, Square Enix, they're all developing games that will also be on the Switch 2, and not just on PlayStation. So we're all flipping off Sony and PlayStation. Hey, we'll just flock over to Nintendo. We can play all the games we want on that system anyways. So yeah, suck it, Sony. And not only does the Switch have all this content, like third-party content, you can also play their first-party games. So you have Mario, Zelda, Kirby, Pokemon, Metroid, on top of all the third parties, like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, whatever else there is, whatever Koei Tecmo develops these days. Okay, one more check and then I'll call it for tonight. I will continue this hunt on my own. I will sleep on it if I want to continue this hunt or just move on with my life because we already did get a shiny alpha. I will sleep on it. I'll think about it. But like, if I decide I'm not going to move on anymore, well, this was just a big waste of time today now, was it? I mean, we did get a shiny Staravia, so was it really a waste of time? Well, nothing here. Well, that failed. And also, let's double check the Inferno. One quick check before I call it for today. Nope. Okay, I will call it for today. I will think about it. Alright, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.